I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough for the REST service part of the lab here. The first thing that we need to do is define our client secret and client IDs that we're going to be using throughout the application. And then we're going to request authorization from the user using this authorize function, which is defined below. So we need to define a URL that will be pointing to the auth endpoint. And then we're going to attach some parameters to that URL. And then we're going to use AWT's browse function to open up that URL in the user's default browser. And if the user doesn't have a default browser, such as if this is being run off of Tux, we're just going to prompt the user to navigate there manually. So once we've done that, we're going to, of course, prompt the user to enter in that code. And once we have the code, we're going to use it to get the access token from Google, which will be done in this getToken function. So the first thing here that we need to do is define a URL that will be pointing to the token endpoint. And we're just going to define some parameters that we'll add on below here. And we're going to be doing it this time with a HTTP URL connection, which will be doing a post request. And to attach the parameters to the body of that request, we're going to be using an output stream. And then we will get we're going to execute that HTTP URL connection and get a buffered reader from that. And we're going to pass the buffered reader into JSON's parse method. And we're going to go through that JSON object and get the access token from it. And now that we have the access token, we can do a request to the API itself to get a list of all the calendars, which will be done in this getCalendars method. And so the first thing we're going to do here, once again, is define a URL with the endpoint of calendar list. And we're going to add the access token as a URL parameter to that. And we're going to use this getURL function to execute a simple GET request with that, which will pass back a buffered reader. And then we're going to use JSON again to parse the buffered reader into a JSON object. And we're going to get this items array from the JSON object and return that back to the main function. And once we have that, all that's left to do is to print the results to the command line. So we're going to loop through the list of calendars here. And for each one that we come across, we're just going to print the summary, which is basically a title for each one. And if it is the first one in the array, we're just going to print the details for it, which is each event. So right here, we're just going to be looping through each event, and we're going to print the number that it occurred as, the title, the date, and the time. And once we're done with that, we're pretty much finished here. So now I'm just going to run the application real quick. And as you can see, I'm already authenticated through Google, so all that's left is to copy this URL here into the console down here. And that'll run, and it'll print out each calendar and each event for that calendar. And I'll be posting another video for the Tembu portion of this assignment.